So, the story begins with a girl named Ja-yeong who suddenly wakes up from her sleep because a small bubble has burst on her forehead. She hears some strange noises. When she peeks out the door, she sees her sister, In-young, in the hallway. But she wasn't walking normally. She was limping and pacing in circles, and from a distance, it looked quite terrifying. Ja-yeong was terrified, thinking it was a demon or some other entity. But even knowing it was her sister didn't bring her any comfort, as it had attacked her in a horrific manner. It sat on top of her, strangling her, and laughing a strange, terrifying laugh. She writhed in pain, then woke up with a start, only to realize it was just a nightmare. We see her stepsister trying to comfort her. We soon learn that Ja-yeong is part of a supernatural club. She's on a video call with her friends, led by a boy named Ji-ho. Ji-ho is extremely excited about a YouTube contest where the winner will receive $0. They plan to film a fake horror documentary in which they will perform a dangerous ritual pretending to summon an entity. For this, they decide to go to an abandoned building, which is already known for its numerous stories, and it's also said that anyone who enters it disappears. The other friends are a little hesitant about it, but they all agree because of the money. Ja-yeong also invites her stepsister. She's a little hesitant, but she agrees because of Ja-yeong's support, and thus the group is complete. They arrive at the location, the basement of an old building, and it's a very spooky place. Right in the middle of the room sits a large tank of dark, murky water. Ji-ho explains the history of this filthy tank, that in ancient times water was processed here, and that it's believed that many spirits were trapped there, drawn to this preserver. He says that the water isn't deep, but because of those spirits, it appears bottomless. The video was being faked, but to avoid informing people, Shahos tells everyone that they'll write down questions they want to ask the spirits. Everyone agrees, but Joe has something else in mind. They all tell him, why don't we try the ritual for real before making a fake video? Truth is truth. If our cameras actually capture something, we'll win the contest anyway. Even if the ritual fails, it's okay. We'll work on the previous idea and make all the fake videos. Ji-ho agrees, and Ja-yeong begins preparing for the ritual. Now they need someone who can become a vessel, meaning someone whose body allows the soul to enter and contact these people. Ja-yeong's sister is the one who volunteered and decided to become the vessel. Seeing his sister volunteer, Ja-yeong fell deeply in love with her and gifted her a chain to wear on her ankle. Siwo, his sister, is delighted and embraces him, as this was the first time Ja-yeong had given him a gift, and sit in each corner of the star, while Siwo stands in the middle of the black water. Ja-yeong covers her face tightly with a paper bag. Afterward, everyone takes a bowl of water from the dirty tank and keeps it with them. The rules of this ritual are very strict. To finish this ritual, they must ask the spirit they invoke to say, "Please leave." Only then must they remove the bag from Siwoo's face, which has been covering her face all this time. During this time, no one can escape the ritual stars. At first, nothing happens. Everyone begins to get bored and think the ritual has failed. But then, suddenly, a bubble hits Siwoo's head. Suddenly, loud thumping sounds echo through the room. Lights flicker, and Siwoo's body twists strangely, as if her bones are breaking. The bag covering her face automatically becomes wet, and she tears it away from her eyes, revealing that her eyes have completely changed. They have turned completely black. This means she's been possessed. She raises her hand in a strange way, and as her hand rotates, it points to everyone one by one. The writing that Siwoo was using was mirrored by the writing on the paper they had written their questions on and placed them in the water tank. The answers to each question were either right or wrong. Both Ja-yeong and Ji-ho's answers were right, while two others' answers were wrong, and theirs was the only one that had the flower written on. She wasn't scared yet, but then, when Siwoo started speaking in a strange, scary voice, her breath caught in her throat. She started counting from 662, then 663, then 664, and as soon as she reached 666, she screamed in her terrifying voice and attacked Chini, but she couldn't get out of the tank. It's as if someone is holding Siwoo's leg inside the tank. Suddenly, the lights go out and darkness falls. When Ji-ho turns on his camera's night vision, he sees Siwoo limping through the water, just like Ja-yeong's sister did in his dream. The others are horrified by her condition and rush to her rescue, pulling her out of the water tank. She faints, and we see a strange mark on her leg, like a tattoo. Seeing this, everyone panics. They realize that this ritual has actually happened to her. Instead of being scared, Ja-yeong is excited. He wants to upload the videos immediately, as nothing like this has ever been captured before. But then all his other friends start scolding him, saying, "Your poor friend is in danger right now, and you're thinking of uploading a video. Quickly call the police for help." But as soon as he calls for help, the signal suddenly goes out. This frightens them even more, and they try to escape, but the door is locked. They try to break it down with a baseball bat and other methods, but the door won't budge. Their fear increases even more when another entity appears inside another girl. She becomes completely possessed, and they realize this when her body twists strangely, and she starts hitting her head hard against the door. She even bleeds profusely, after which she picks up a baseball bat and tells everyone to kill her. But when they don't listen to her, they go and attack Soo, whom they have used as a vessel. To save Soo, everyone tries to stop them, but finally, to control the situation, Ja-yeong, overcome with fear, picks up a baseball bat and hits her on the head. Eventually, the girl dies, and everyone continues to obsessively watch Ja-yeong. Ja-yeong claims he didn't do it intentionally, but then Ja-yeong's friend discovers he was lying because he had read the question on the dead girl's chit, which he was supposed to ask Soo. The question was, "Will I be able to escape Ja-yeong?" Soo answered no. Now, we learn the secret behind this question. The girl was actually having an affair with her teacher. When Ja-yeong learned of this, he filmed them together and began blackmailing her. Finally, when the girl grew tired of his blackmailing, she turned back to Ja-yeong, saying, "I have the video you made of us and all our chats. Now, I'll go to the police and report you. The police will delete my video as well. They won't let the truth come out, and you'll be caught." That's why Ja-yeong has been after the girl ever since. The scene returns to the present, where Ja-yeong is trying to convince everyone that he's innocent. Suddenly, the lights dim, and Ja-yeong disappears into the darkness. When the lights return, Ja-yeong is sitting with a knife. He suddenly attacks his partner, seemingly insane. The men fend him off, and then they all tie Ja-yeong up with ropes. They had planned a wrestling match here, but why was everyone posing? When Ja-yeong realizes this is all wrong, she rereads the ritual book and realizes they didn't complete it properly. They made a huge mistake. They broke the ritual's rules and didn't ask So to leave. They decide they'd have to perform the ritual again to save their lives. But now the problem was that Ja-yeong's sister had died due to the girl's attack. They placed her corpse inside, and she suddenly came back to life. As she revived, she pointed to the body of the girl who had killed her, and then pointed to the others. It seemed that everything was going well, as the ritual continued as usual. Just as So-woo had pointed to everyone earlier, everything was still going as usual. One by one, everyone was leaving the circle according to the rules, when suddenly, everyone's phones started ringing. This meant that the signal had returned, and they could call the police. They began calling the police, but the boy who had just survived Ja-yeong's attack texted Ja-yeong and expressed his feelings. Ja-yeong and the two of them thought their best days were about to begin, but little did they know that this would be their worst. All the candles and lights lit at their place go out again. When the lights come back on, it's revealed that Ja-yeong has untied his rope. He steps forward in a posed pose and, in a trance, takes a knife and slits his throat. Here, we learn that these people were dying as soon as they completed their question. We learned that Ja-yeong had asked if his video would get 1 million views. When Ja-yeong's companion checked his phone, they found that it had already received 1 million views. The video had gone viral, and that's why Ja-yeong died after the prophecy came true. Now, fear drives them mad. They wonder why they even performed the ritual. As the prophecy comes true, they will die. The girl who received the flower written as the answer to her question quickly runs to the door and screams for help, only to be seen as an invisible force begins to strangle her. After strangling her, the same entity lifts her into the air and throws her into the water. The others try to rescue her, but the entity still holds her head underwater. They are unable to pull her head out and save her. It turns out that her chit had the words "funeral" written on it, along with a flower. This refers to funeral flower. The flower is typically placed at the time of death. The professor's understanding was that this girl would die here. Only 2 people were left: Dong, the boy who had messaged Ja-yeong, and Ja-yeong herself. Her sister was also there at the time, but she didn't know whether she was dead or still alive and unconscious. Because she revived once while standing underwater, they're extremely frightened and decide to leave. They investigate the entire area and find a secret door that opens. Inside, they found a cloth with the word "death" written on it in large letters. Behind it, they found a body. Ja-yeong realized that the body was a human being. She realized that either she or her friend would survive. Ja-yeong, who had already mentally prepared for such events, was unafraid and went and killed her own friend. This is where we learned the twist. Ja-yeong's younger sister, Imung, had actually died, whom we saw in her dream at the beginning of the movie. Ja-yeong loved her sister very much. After her death, she was devastated, and her father didn't care for her. She also remarried and found a stepsister here, but she never loved her. She only wanted to bring back her former sister. And then she learned about this ritual. She discovered that she could bring her sister back to life. She could bring her soul back to this world. But in return, it required 5 sacrifices, all human. She would only get her sister after killing 5 people. Dong, the boy who had messaged Ja-yeong, had also gone there and read the same rule. She had already killed 4 friends. As part of this plan, she now had to make the final sacrifice, for which she thought of her stepsister Shivo. As soon as she completed this final sacrifice, she saw a bubble floating inside, and she saw her younger sister. Seeing this, she began to cry. She apologized to her sister and said, "I will always take care of you. Please don't leave me." Ja-yeong was happy that her ritual was about to be completed. But then a huge twist came. Her sister's soul suddenly turned terrifying, and it was revealed that it wasn't her sister's soul, but a demon who was deceiving Ja-yeong and making him do all this. So Ja-yeong says, "Your friends are asking why you killed them." Ja-yeong looks at him confused, and the demon laughs loudly and says, "Thank you for freeing me from health. That whole ritual was just to free me from health. I was waiting for someone to fall into my trap and complete the ritual." Saying this, he grabs Ja-yeong by the throat, and Ja-yeong realizes that he has been deeply deceived and that he has done a terrible harm to his people. Ultimately, the demon strangles Ja-yeong to death, extracts her soul, and imprisons her in the same water with which she began the ritual. At this point, we are shown her question during the ritual: "Will I see my sister again?" The answer was yes. She briefly glimpsed her sister inside the bubble, and as soon as her prophecy was fulfilled, she too died. In the movie's post-credit scene, we are shown a video of all these people before the ritual. Everyone was very happy. Everyone was sharing their dreams. For example, Jio wanted to become a star. Ja-yeong wanted to be very happy in life. And So-woo had made a wish for her sister: "I want to keep her happy forever." Everyone was happy and excited, but this one wrong move took everyone's life. They killed them all, and the movie ends with this tragic ending.